Today's objective is box and whisker plots. Box and whisker plots, and plots is another word for graphs, display data by dividing it into 4 sections called quartiles. And you know, quart, like there's 4 quarters in a dollar, and there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So it makes sense because quart means it's divided into 4 pieces. And each section of the graph represents 25% of the data, which also makes sense. If you've divided something up, it should be 25% if it's even. So it's easy to see your data. So here's a sample with all the vocabulary. So this is a box, and it has 2 whiskers going out, okay? So the red is just identifying what each piece is. It's not normally there. So the dot at this end, the point at the far end is the minimum, and the point at the other far end is the maximum. That kind of makes sense. And the line in the very center is the median, and you know the median is what's in the middle. In the rest of the box, the first line is called the lower quartile. Sometimes this is called the middle quartile, but usually it's the median. And then the far line on the box, the right line, is called the upper quartile. And between the 2 quartiles is called the interquartile range. Okay, so get all that vocabulary down. And now let's look at another box and whisker plot already done. So the most important thing is you have to have a number line in order to reference your box and whisker plot, because otherwise you won't know if you're putting your information in the right area. So we see at 5 is our minimum, 27 is our maximum, and 13 is the median. Okay, because that's what's in the middle. Now it's not necessarily in the middle of the box, but it's what is in the middle of the data. Okay, so 10 is the lower quartile, 20 is the upper quartile. So I could ask you, what's the median? And you would tell me 13. 25% of the data is split up in each of these sections. So between the minimum and the lower quartile, that's 25% of your data. Between the lower quartile and median, 25% of your data. Between the median and the upper quartile, another 25%, and between the upper quartile and the maximum, 25%. So you can see this portion is a lot smaller than this portion. So there's a lot more numbers in this area. That's what it means. So I wrote for here, the minimum is 5, the maximum is 27, the median is 13. 50% of the data is between the minimum and the median. 50% of the data is between the median and the maximum. And there's also 50% in the interquartile range, okay? Because 25, it's pretty easy to add it up. So now let's talk about how to make a box and whisker plot. You put your data in order from least to greatest. If it's not given to you in order, if it's scrambled, it needs to be in order. Then you find the median, the minimum, and the maximum. Those are pretty easy, especially the minimum and the maximum. Then, keeping your median in the middle, from the middle to the minimum, you find another middle spot. And from the median to the maximum, you find another middle spot. So what I wrote was, find the middle number from the minimum to the median, and the middle number from the median to the maximum. But you don't include the median as one of the numbers, and I'll explain that in just a second. Then you plot the minimum, the maximum, the median, and the 2 other middle numbers over a number line and connect with lines. So we had a party. There were 9 people that came. These are the ages of the people at the party. A 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14, 15, 17-year-old, and then some adults, 35, 45, 62. Maybe that was a grandma. All right, so it says find the median, the minimum, and the maximum. The minimum is the smallest number, the maximum is the largest number, and let's count our data. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you have 9, 5 is the middle number. And if you're not sure, you could just take away, 10, 62, 11, 45, 12, 35, 14, 17. So 15 is our median number. Okay, now this number 3, where it says find the middle of the other numbers, this is what you do. Circle your median so you don't include it, and then say, okay, I have the numbers 10, 11, 12, and 14. My middle is going to be between 10 and 11. Sometimes your middle is a number that you have. Sometimes you just have to find the middle. It depends how many pieces of data you have. So this is going to be 11.5. Okay? You just found the middle of everything less than the median. Now let's find the middle of everything greater than the median. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in between 35 and 45. What number is that? Hopefully you said 40. Okay, now we have all our pieces and we're ready to plot our points. So at 10, we put a point for our minimum. At 11.5, we put a line. That's our lower quartile. At 15, we put another line. Oh, that probably wasn't even 15, very good. At 40, we put another line. And then at 62, we put a dot. So can you tell that most of the people are down here? 62 is a lot older, right? All right, so now what we do is we connect our box. And now we connect our whiskers. Let me fix this. When you do it on paper, you don't have to turn your head upside down. I was just trying to make a straight line. So you can see from this data at our birthday party, 50% of the people, and then we should put our ages on too. We should put that this is 10, this is 11.5, this was 15, 40, 62. So you can see that half of the people there were between 10 and 15. Or not between 10 and 15, from 10 to 15. Other half of the people were from 15 all the way up to 62. So that's kind of interesting. So box and whiskers, they're pretty straightforward. It's easy to see where 25% of the data is. That's it.